Alright, so here we are with the first official update of the CSX Saginaw sub built in N scale. Being built in my shed. Let's walk inside and kind of take a look. Now, of course, it is being built in a shed, so we have all this crap here. But, as you can see, the shed is divided into two rooms. And the other room has the layout in it. Now, you can see here is the Plymouth area. Built pretty much by taking a book that I found online, hand drawing, or with drawings of the Plymouth area. Kind of tried to go off of that. Here is one of the pages which actually details Plymouth. While I don't have all the tracks, of course, I can't fit all the tracks, pretty close to what is there. Going to have a mock diamond cut through here. I'm just going to have a track that comes up and eventually have a non-functioning main line that passes through there to represent the Plymouth subdivision going this way and the Detroit subdivision going that way. If we go north along the line, you can see the yard lead. There should be a third track. I did not put a third track in. Not really room to do it. This is M14. We'll go underneath. I'm going to have to carve that out when I get to that. Come a little further down. Some other scribbles just to represent where roads will eventually be. Siding an industry that's not really in place anymore on the real railroad, but is on that page, so I decided I'd put it in there. Haven't quite figured out what it's going to be. It's in here for operational interest. This would be the Northville area, so it says Northville there. Real interesting spot to work because you have to come into this place twice to work both sides of it, and you'll have to go to Wixom, or up to Novi, which is this here, which will actually be on this level up here, although this is all just temporary shelving to help keep some stuff out of the way. You'll have to go up to this passing siding here, which will have two sets of industries on it. To go up to the Novi siding there to do your runaround move to come back down to here. That black square there will be a cut in the wall, and there will be the first helix right here in front of this window. I'm gonna might actually have to rework the window and everything so that way we can still open it when I put the helix in. It's not going to be up as high as this. I'm probably gonna drop this about 6 inches down lower, so instead of being here, it'll be more about here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount some rope lighting or something underneath to help illuminate the bottom of this. Right now, all I have are these big fluorescent lights up there that I'm going to get rid of. If we head south out of Plymouth, of course we cross the diamond, which would be here. And there would be some other Y tracks, but I'm going to leave them out for the time leave them out, period. The Plymouth yard lead ends, but the Wixom, no, it's not Wixom. This is the main 1, main 2. This begins, and actually, this is going to be double track from here all the way to the wall, where the railroad will go through the wall and be into Toledo. On the actual railroad, it doesn't do that, but for creative or compression reasons, I have to do it that way. I'm going to come through here. Here's one curve switch just because the main line comes out so close to this wall here. And I want to put some industries here. I want to swing them, the main line just kind of swing out a little bit and zigzag. That'll help break up the straight line appearance so that way you'll have more of a curving, natural looking railroad. It makes turns look interesting. Now my camera's decided not to focus. Focus. There we go. As you can see though, because the framework of the shed is on the interior like this, I am integrating it in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put building like building knot cutouts. I'll cut them out to fit around, or trees or something to mask that. Then of course we have the Wayne area, which that's what it looks like. But what I'm going to do is I'm only going to have this track that comes out and zigzags around and then goes this way. I'm going to turn that 90 degrees like this. Have auto rack loading here. This track will come in all the way down here to a switch, and then have a little lead track come in, and it'll either be loading auto racks on this side or dropping something off here and dropping some stuff here. There'll be a view block, but it's not going to be a big tall one. All it's going to be is an auto plant building. Large, big auto plant building. And then on this side, the camera can't focus on this pink foam. It has to have a hand or something in the way. On this side will be this whole Conrail yard here. I've got a bunch of this old Cato, or not old, but this Cato truck here, just test fitting some stuff. This Conrail yard, and further down there's some tracks which go into the other side of the auto plant there. That'll have some tracks there. This will be here, and this will go across. This industry is going to be condensed down, be tucked in right where that pink foam block is, kind of where that one switch is sitting on top of the track. When we come through here, which I haven't even marked out yet or anything, there'll be two track entrance there to Toledo. It's going to kind of look something like this. There'll be two tracks, and I'll probably have a crossover switch. I'm not going to have any of these other tracks because the main line's going to end pretty much at this grade crossing, and that's where the wall will be, or I might have it right here where the going underneath this freeway. Freeway right here kind of blocking it. And then right here, once I move this stuff out of the way, there'll be the return loop, so that way I can do continuous running, but then I might put in shotgun staging down that way towards that ugly ass curtain to store maybe 3 or 4 trains, so that way when I do have an op session I can just dial up a train and zoop, it's out. Now if we follow the main line again, going north out of Toledo back through, well here let me actually try and do it like this. Follow the main line north out of Toledo, coming up through Plymouth, and going past Northville, and going to the Helix. Come up on this top level will be, or on this middle level will be Wixom and everything along this wall. This will actually be the Novi siding, and Wixom yard is going to be a curved yard. Here's how Wixom's actually laid out. Instead of having the auto plant loop around like this and then it loops around on the other side, it's going to be this track here. As you look, the auto plant loops around like that, and then another track comes around like this on the other side of the Wixom auto plant there. It's just going to be some stub tracks, and then I'm going to have maybe 3 or 4 tracks for auto rack loading. And the Y, I am going to fit the Y in. The Y will have its tail track right up to this corner. It'll actually come right up to the stud, or maybe right into there. But it will fit kind of in this corner at this height. And then go through the wall over there where that red mark is about, and do another helix, which will then bring you across the top level, which the top level right in there will be downtown Holly. I really want to model that diamond and everything. You'll then have Coldwater and McGrew yard. I'm just going to condense. I haven't really thought about how I'm going to put them in yet, but you'll have Coldwater and McGrew yard kind of up over here. Maybe in this corner I'm going to have to move some of these extension cord wires. It'll kind of be up here. The Buick auto plant will be up here as well. The main line will actually climb up a little bit, so there'll be a bit of a grade from that corner area, maybe where that bolt sticking through the wall is, coming up and going through the wall there, because there will be a return loop which will come out where those orange stakes are, go around the whole upper level, probably to about there, cut across, and go in, and it'll be staging up through here, and this will be the Saginaw staging. So that's kind of the game plan. So far, what has been built in the past couple of weeks, as all of you see here, one of the things that some people do when they do yards is they'll just get a big sheet of cork and lay that down. I laid out individual strips of cork. It was a pain in the butt, but that's what I did. I think it looks a little better the way it flows and isn't squared off or anything. The other thing that's been done, if we slide under here, I don't know how well the camera will focus. There we go. I've got some of the basic wiring in. I've got to cover all these open wire connectors still. I just did it real quick, but I have already got it divided up where these are the yard track feeder wires. This is the main line feeder wires. This wire here is just kind of a temporary one until I get my power shields and my barrier strips installed. I don't have either one, but the yard, the railroad's going to be divided up into, each level is going to be 2 power shields, one for the main line, one for the industries, and yard tracks. Focus, 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 focus. Okay, so mainline track on one power shield. All these are on another power shield. This industry track's on a power shield. There'll be an auto reverser down there for the return loop there. Wayne will be on one power shield, but it'll be on the same power shield as Plymouth. The main line for the entire lower level is going to be on its own power shield, as well as the helix will be on one power shield. What that means is, if I have a derailment here in the yard, I get a short circuit here in the yard, mainline train will still be running fine, but any trains on any of the industry tracks will have problems. If a train derails on this mainline track and short circuits, it only shuts down this main line and not the main line on the other 2 levels. Doing it that way isn't as electrically safe, because if I do have a short circuit here, anyone working over here is going to have a problem and vice versa. But it's going to save me money on power shields. And the way I'm going to wire it in is I will leave accommodation to put give it its own power shield when I get to that point. I'm not at that point yet to have its own power shield here. I mean, I don't even have track yet, so no point in investing in power shields and stuff. But I've been doing a lot of planning and thinking in how I'm going to operate this, because it's going to be a railroad for operating, not circle burning or just watching trains go around. Although I am going to have, like I said, return loops, and I'm going to try and use spring switches of some sort to accommodate continuous running. So when I'm here by myself, I can be working the yard over here and have a mainline train zipping around. But that kind of covers everything for this update. Yeah, there is a gap between the foam there and the wall, and the pipe there. I got to get that out. Just because this was just a piece of foam that I threw in to get in. I'm going to leave it because I'm going to do plaster or something over that too. Actually, we're going to eventually do plaster over all the foam, so all these gaps and stuff will be covered and filled, and it will look nicer. That's my mountain of foam. There's eventually going to be like a little city or something there. But that is it for this one.